Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm the author of Ace the Interview, Master Tricky Questions, and Land Your Dream Job. These are proven strategies and examples. And in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to walk you through the 10 most common job interview questions, why they're asked, and exactly how to answer them like a pro. So let's go. So the first question is, tell me about yourself. They want a clear, confident summary of your value. Tell me about yourself. Why should we hire you? So, what one answer is basically, hey, I'm a data-driven marketing leader with 8 years in SaaS. At company that I was previously working for, I led campaigns that increased annual revenue by 25%. And now I'm excited to bring that experience and forward thinking to a team like yours. So again, basically what we did is we just had our branding statement prepared. We knew, who we are, what accomplishments we've done, and what we bring to the table. And we're sharing that with enthusiasm. And if you just follow that model and tell me about yourself and don't get into details about your personal life or your childhood, keep it focused on what you bring to the table in the job, then that'll be exactly what the interviewer is looking for. The second most common question is, why do you want this job? And basically the interviewer is kind of checking for genuine interest and to make sure that's aligned. Are you interested and aligned in this job? So an example could be, well, your focus on clean energy tech is just exciting to me. I've built platforms that have supported sustainable projects, and this role lets me do the meaningful work that I want to do while growing professionally. The third most common question that you're basically going to find is a tricky one. What's your biggest weakness? So they're basically testing you here to see if you're self-aware, if you have a growth mindset, and if there's any red flags. So what is your biggest weakness? A good answer is, I've been working on speaking to large audiences. I joined Toastmasters, and now I present quarterly to over 100 people. It's helped me improve my clarity and confidence in public speaking greatly. And that's a good one because, to be honest, 90% or more of all people are a little bit afraid of public speaking. So that's a good one where you kind of can get some empathy, and maybe the interviewer say, yeah, you know what, I'm afraid of public speaking too. That's a tough one. Question number 4, why did you leave your last role? There's a lot of reasons why people leave roles. They're really just looking for professionalism, growth, motivation, and again, making sure there's no red flags there. Keep it positive. Do not speak poorly about any past employer, company, team. So an example could be, my role was impacted during a reorg, but I took the chance to upskill in AI automation. I've been studying about AI and AI tools, and now I'm ready for a role where I can apply those AI tools to the real world and create a business impact. So we spun it. We basically, gave an honest answer. Hey, we were part of a reorg, which is very common. And now how have I improved? I've learned about AI automation, AI tools, and now I can be an even better employee for you. Question number 5 is, how do you handle multiple priorities? They want to know if you can stay organized under pressure and deal with stress. That's basically what the question is hitting down on. So the answer is, at my previous company, I managed 2 different overlapping launches with different clients and stakeholders. So I used, for example, Asana or another project management tool to plan for timelines, communicated it proactively, and I delivered both on time. In fact, I even delivered one of those projects ahead of schedule. Hopefully you can tie in something that relates to the role. And if you can do that and give a good example of what you've kind of accomplished, and make sure you put a positive spin on it for whatever example you have completed it successfully, or maybe even ahead of time. And that'll really impress the interviewer. Number 6 is how you navigate workplace conflict and disagreements. So how do you handle conflict at work? So they're watching to see how you deal with people. and stress. So the previous question was, how do you deal with kind of stress and competing priorities? This is, how are you dealing with people and stress? People can put stress on each other at work. It's just what happens. But really what they're looking for is somebody that's really professional and has good judgment and basically solves problems and doesn't let things bother them and works well with the team. So here's an example answer. When I disagreed with a colleague's strategy, we scheduled a one-on-one. We listened to each other, aligned on goals. We merged on ideas. We didn't see eye to eye on everything, but we really came to a good middle ground. So that led to a campaign, and it outperformed both of our benchmarks. So we later on collaborated on more and more things because we knew that we could work together. So basically, it kind of sets a real positive spin on, not only did you have a disagreement with somebody, but you came together, you worked together, you communicated, and it actually made you stronger as a team. And now you can work, you started working together moving forward. So all positives, which are exactly what a hiring manager is looking for. It's question 7. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? They want to see if you're going to A, stick around with the company, and B, grow with the company. So it can be a tricky question. The key is to basically answer it authentically, but don't raise any red flags if you truly have things that don't quite line up with the job in 5 years. So a good example is, I'd love to lead a product team driving innovation. This role gives me the foundation to develop those skills, and I'll be contributing from day one, and this is my passion. Basically putting a positive spin on something and tying it into what your strengths are now and where you'd like to grow. And that helps the employer see you and envision you in the future. Question 8, what are your salary expectations? It doesn't have to be too tough. They're just kind of making sure that you're a fit for the role. They want to fill out your budget alignment. You do want to tread a little carefully, do some research on the job, and basically you could go to Glassdoor and look and see where you think the salary would line up. But you can say something like, based on my research and experience, I'd expect between 90 and 100,000, but I'm off. I'm open. It just depends on the fit and the impact. It's not just about salary with me. I'm kind of curious. Did you have a budget in mind for this role? So that basically let them know that you're open, that you've done some research. It gives an idea of what you're expecting, and maybe ask them a question and lets them give you the answer to what they're going to pay. Question number 9. Okay, this one's a tricky one. Did you ever deal with a difficult boss? Well, probably most of us have to some extent or another. But they're just trying to check for blame and drama, and if you have a victim mentality. So you got to be smart. Never speak negatively about a job, an employer, a coworker. Spin it all in a somewhat positive spin. You could even make sure you're wording something in a more professional manner. So one manager preferred top-down decisions. I adapted by being proactive, clarifying expectations early, and executing on my job. And we basically built a mutual respect over time, and he gave me more room to really execute what I was doing. So basically what I just said in layman's terms is, my manager previously, he micromanaged me. And what I had to do was communicate with him an awful lot till he started to trust me. But I worded it in a more positive spin. My manager preferred a top-down decision-making process, so I adapted by being proactive. And I communicated with him often and early. And over time, he saw that I could do the job and gave me a little bit more wiggle room. And then the last question, number 10. So, what are your greatest strengths? And they really want to see evidence of your value. They don't want vagueness. They don't want you to say, well, I'm a team collaborator and I manage my time well. They want to know the 2 or 3 things that relate to this role. So make sure you've seen the job description, and you can tie this into the job description so you they're going to know, the interviewer is going to know that you understand their challenges, you understand their problems, and you have the solution to that problem. So, for example, if it's like a strategic role, you'd say something like, strategic thinking and team leadership. I led a go-to-market initiative that doubled client retention and mentored 3 different team members into leadership roles themselves. So you're just kind of tying in, what's important to the role into what your greatest strengths are, assuming that you actually do have those strengths and you can be authentic with it. So basically, in close, that's the 10 most common, most powerful, winning answers in under, I hope, 5 minutes. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe and comment. I just would love to hear a comment from you. What question do you struggle with most, or what question do you hear most often? What do you think is the most common interview question? And if you want the full guide with frameworks, scripts, and hidden insights, grab my book on Amazon. And if you'd like to check out more resources, you can go to ezygo.com. But you've got this. Go land your dream job. You know the top 10 most common questions and how to answer them now.